Hello everybody, it's MIT's turn to report the results for the first half of 2023 FY. So the results were not that stunning. The immediate task for me was of course the decision or to take the DRP or not. And for this case, I thought it was a no-brainer to take the DRP. So this is the share price. You can see the share price has corrected quite a fair bit. It's actually quite resilient, I thought, compared to the other REITs. So it has fell from 2.8 to a low of like 215 or so, right? And then this is the sharp rebound post the CPI being softer than expected for the month of October, and therefore the thing's just rallied to 2.3. So it was a no-brainer actually to take the DRP at 215. The only thing that you're thinking about is whether or not you want to lock in the profits from 215 at 230 or to keep it for the long run. For the time being, I think I'll just keep it actually. I hadn't really bought a whole lot of this stuff during the sell-off because I bought other stuff that are a lot cheaper actually, trading at like 7 to 8% yield and trading way below book, right? But nonetheless, for this time round, I decided to take the script, and therefore you can see that the response date was 17th of November, and I took it on the 11th. So the date that the option came out, I just elected for it already. It was quite a no-brainer for me actually. This is the DRP, the DPU for the first half, second quarter I mean, because they distribute on a quarterly basis, right? No surprises, because things are down 3%. You can see that actually this number included the capital distribution over 8 quarters of 15.7 million from the divestment of 26A Ayer Rajah till first quarter of 24, right? So there's capital returns included in this number, but it's quite nicely timed because this stuff ends in first quarter 24, right? And the Kolam Air will be finished in the first half of 23. So by the time the capital distribution ends, this stuff will probably be completed and the rentals are kicking, right? So quite nicely timed. Um, so if you look at the NAV, also quite surprisingly went up from 188 to 193. So on this basis, the yield is now 6.2% on a 13.8 cents DPU and share price of 215. So it's around 6.2% yield at 1.1 price to book. Not the cheapest fella in town though, because if you look at other stuff, things are trading at 7 to 8%, way below book in this crazy sell-off. So this is the reason why I didn't really buy a lot of it this time round. But nonetheless, I think 215 is quite a good level, so I'll just take it. The debt maturity is quite interesting because they have quite a big chunk expiring this year, 12% this year. So debt financing will be a lot higher when they refi, right? Quite interesting. The next 2 years will be quite low though, 6% and 5% for the next 2 years. So actually, it's quite well shielded till FY25. With this chunk being the immediate concern. So I think the rising interest rates will have an impact on the DPU. So if you look at the numbers, only 74% is fixed, right? So because of that, when rates go up, so if you go from 1% to like 5%, which is the pent in the interest rate hikes expectations right now, look at the like 4% rise, right? So if you look at it, it's probably around 5.6 million hit to the DPU for the next year. So if you look at it, they actually announced something quite interesting over the recent announcement that they will release $6.6 million over 3 quarters from 3Q23. So that's the next quarter, right? So I think over the next 1 year, you probably see like a 5.6 million hit to the DPU from rising rates of their floating rates loans. But then you have a 2.2 million mitigation, right, from this capital distribution. But nonetheless, there'll still be impact of like 4 million, right? 3 plus $4 million to the DPU. So I think the DPU will have to go down over the next 1 year, and subsequently when they refi, right? But nonetheless, the metrics still look quite healthy though. ICI is like 5 times. Even on adjusted basis is 5.2 times. But you can see the debt all-in funding creeping up, right? But I think actually I thought that the inflation and rate hike expectations are kind of all penciled in. I think the main thing that I'm concerned though is the impact of a recession, which looks more and more likely. In fact, I think it's gonna be a quite hard one if you look at the tech people retrenching and stuff. So what impact would the recession on have on industrial properties, because for MIT they have quite a fair bit of industrial properties, right? So rental growth will probably be quite muted going forward, coupled with the rising rates and therefore the impact on the DPU. But nonetheless, I thought the share price at the 215 for DRP was quite attractive, especially once they managed to get over the hurdle of refi their debt in 2023. Then the next 2 years will actually be quite quite close, because very few debts will be expiring in the next 2 years, right? So that's all for this video. I'm electing for the DRP. Are you guys electing for it? Let me know.